Hey everyone, it's me, Dirty Honey. Welcome to the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or like and subscribe, however it works, okay? Just do it, alright? So today we're going to talk about something that's fucking awesome, okay? Like we always do. Otherwise, why would we even talk about it? This is going to be manifest, God power manifest, okay? I'm talking about accessing funnel power access to manifesting everything like God power. All right? Maybe. Or with practice, I can't do this yet, or maybe even ever at all, but I'm going to show you something that I think might be true. So, we're human beings and we have this conscious experience of what's happening in what we call life. And for the most part, that happens out here in this physical world that's we're viewing through our eyeballs, and we're like, oh, look at all this and everything. We have to touch it and move around it and not get shot by it, right? And try and position ourselves within it to be fruitful and happy and, not stressy. So, how we do that is we're basically experiencing what's happening on the outside of us and then referencing all the things that we've already done and making this constant rolling decision on what to do next, right? And so that's the process of, or a portion of the process of life that we're in. And so I guess one thing to kind of point out that we're going to lean into is that we're more than just what's happening on the outside. In fact, we're none of what's happening on the outside. We're everything that's happening on the inside and the interpretation of what we see on the outside and experience and do on the outside. So the inside's pretty fucking important. If you look inside and you think and you start to see what's in there, it's all your memories and all your experiences and all what you think about those and how you felt about them and still do. Or do now if those feelings changed and you learned or something. But I believe, and I think most people would agree, that behind all those things that you've experienced and understand or believe in, there's something else. There's something more than just what you've experienced. And I think that that is believable because when you're dead, you're not going to bring any of those things from the outside with you. And all the things that you experienced are not necessarily tangible things that you're going to bring with you. Whatever's past those things that you had in the experience are what you're trying to understand through the experience because that is what you're actually going to bring with you. So, understanding that there is something beyond your experiences and your understanding of them is important because we don't oftentimes go there. Meditation is that's kind of the goal, at least how I see it. And so I call our position in consciousness the 0 point. I like to use visualizations. My head works like that. And I picture us like the number 0. It's blank. It's nothing. Ahead of that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity. Behind the 0, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up down to infinity, or out to infinity in both directions. But 0 is the middle. There's only one 0. There's not a 0 on this side and a 0 on that side. We are the 0 point. We experience life through consciousness, which is the 0 point. And we look outward from the 0 point into that infinite numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as far as we can see, maybe we, in our life, will experience out to like 100 or something. I don't know. We have to put a number on it to make an average, but let's say you go out to like a maximum of 100 out into life, and it's like, dude, I'm discovering Mars now. Okay, I've gone out so far. The average person might not even go to 100. Maybe the average is like 50 or something, and super dupers go out to 80 or 100. whatever. We take as much of that as we possibly can in our experience, and then we process it through our 0 point, and we store a little bit of it in the other direction inside of our head so that we can make decisions on the outside that are safe and, go according to our plan that we're building on the inside of our head to understand what's beyond the reach of the inside of our head. So the idea of meditating in the goal or whatever in this strategy that we're talking about or technique to become a God power manifester is to be able to unify or to, I kind of picture the 0 point like a window. And when you're meditating, you're opening that window or something and kind of allowing those two worlds to be a little more 50-50 with regard to your focus, and trying even to shift as much of that focus into the inside portion and understand what's behind the understanding part that you experience on the outside. Let me use the chalkboard to show you what I'm talking about. So if this is 0, okay, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, infinity, and then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay. We look out this way most of the time. Okay, this is us. We're the 0. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but I drew a little face on it. The smiley one, he's being nice. So we look out this way and we try to understand and we experience and we suck in all this outside stuff as far as we can. Whoa, life's happening. Look at that. It's amazing. And then we take those experiences and we kind of store them here and here and here. And we live in this like 1 to 3 haze, or this storing of experience, understanding, and how we do things is in our mind. It's like an autopilot area right here that we live in. And then sometimes things out here will happen and we'll have, like a deeper understanding or something that we're going to use later that we have it in us, but we're not accessing it all the time. It's just, cobwebby knowledge back there in the file cabinet. And so that stuff stays right here in the memory zone and all that, right? And you get to back to about 5 on the reverse side, on the inside of your experience, of your consciousness. And so meditation what I get out of meditation is I try to, I'll close my eyes. Close my eyes, and we have an amount of focus to spend, and usually we're spending most of our focus on this outside area and only using, we're looking as far out as we can here and listening out as far out as we can here, which is like 80%, 90% of our focus, and then the other 5% is on autopilot in here and how we feel about it and how we're accustomed to doing it. And then when something crazy happens, we're like, oh, dude, we got to think a little bit and use all of our stuff. And we come way back here to 4 or 5 to handle dicey situations or something that's a little bit newer. But when you're meditating, okay, that's him sitting there meditating. So when you're meditating, you're thinking and looking back into your mind. And when you close your eyes and start to use your focus, you have 100 focus. Most of it gets used on sight and sound. When you turn sight off by closing your eyes, that focus doesn't disappear. It goes somewhere. Where does it go? Zither. Where does it go? It goes inside your mind and starts to look at stuff that's in there. When you turn sound off too, same thing. That focus doesn't disappear. It goes inside your mind. So now you have more of your focus paying attention to what's going on in here. First thing you're going to start to notice is all these things that you already know about, right? And you're going to dig through those and whatever. They're going to be there. After meditating over time and doing it a few times, and I don't know, everyone's different, how quickly they attain this, But sooner or later, you're going to be able to focus past this area. That's the idea, anyways, is to start to look back here into that area that's there. We know it's there. That's what we're trying to understand through life experiences and build something into here so that we can understand what the fuck is way back here so that when we die and this all goes away, we know we kind of have a better understanding of what's left. And so when you look back into this, you find something. Let's say that you're meditating and you can finally manage to ignore your body and you're not seeing anything, and you make it into your mind far enough back into this area where it's new and the imagination and creativity lives. Okay, all that stuff is unexplainable to me. I don't know what's in there for you. I don't know what's in there for me, because when I go in there and find it, that's what I'm doing. I'm finding whatever I find. And that helps me to understand what's in there. So when you come out of meditation, you open your eyes again and you're focusing on all this again, but you still now have had a little bit greater understanding of this and of what's out here, or at least you think you do. You experience a little more on this side of yourself. This is always maxed out. This side of yourself is seldom maxed out, and the idea of meditating is to max that out and to keep an understanding of it in here to help clear this fog or whatever, to include some of this pure water or pure mind or conscious that you found while meditating. So that will then be used in your actions in life. This is now has a little bit different recipe because it has more of this in it, and that will change a little bit potentially how you react to things in the physical world. And in our lives, we already kind of manifest everything we do and everything that happens to a certain extent. Because if we didn't actually do the action, everything's fiction until it's in the present and actually done, and then it just returns the fiction again. It's not even a thing or a fact or an anything until it's actually physically happening at the time. And so in your exploring way back here, finding something, changing this recipe a little bit to have a different or deeper understanding of yourself and how you would react to things going on out here, that in my mind or whatever, in the window situation, is kind of like keeping this window or this 0 point open a little more than it used to be, because now you're using this information back to 6 and including that in your understanding and actions and in your vision of life and how you act. So like I was saying with manifesting, everything is just fiction until it happens. That's why I say we kind of manifest everything already, because we think it out a little bit and then make it happen. And so we're manifesting in a real small amount that's kind of hard to appreciate as manifest, because it's just how it happens. It's such a quick process and it's only an instant. There's no time to think and study about how you actually made that happen. But that's kind of what's happening. You're actually creating things in a certain distance from the present and your current state to happen when they get there in your travel through time. So now, when we say God power manifests, it's like, oh, I'm going to be Superman and just, ooh, look, there's a chair, it's there, okay? That's the kind of manifest that might be possible with this, or manifesting your situation to be guided differently through time. because of something that's understood. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not God manifest power, but I just have this idea of what I'm getting at. And so using a greater portion of what's in your mind and the thing that we know exists beyond our understanding in your everyday understanding and actions, it's kind of like leaving your window to the inside open a little bit more, a little wider, because you have a greater understanding of what's back here, traveling through your 0 point into what you do out here. And so to attain the God power manifest, you would need to have this understanding be so great that this remains open full blast and your actions are like 100% derived or guided by or made through this super deep understanding of inside that most of us can't reach, and that would translate into your experience. So I know that's a little bit trippy, maybe a lot trippy and totally stupid, okay, whatever, but I feel like if you had just this mega deep understanding of what's inside you past the 0 point onto the inside, that would definitely translate into how you act out on the outside and understand the outside and interpret the outside. And that understanding would have to enhance or your ability to do the manifest a little or a lot better than the typical person who's only paying attention to, back to three, or never even comprehends thinking about or even attempts to get way the fuck back here. That's something that, if it's attained and you can get your mind to understand what's way the fuck back here, you're going to have, you won't be able to deny what you've understood. And that, if true and the understanding was correct, is definitely going to have an effect on how your life plays out on the outside. And even if it doesn't, getting way back in there, you're just understanding what's there in the dark, way back in your head that you just never pay attention to. And we're kind of afraid of it because that's what we're taking with us when we're dead. Whatever the fuck's way in there, we're not taking any of this skateboard and shit, okay? None of that's coming with you. Everything that goes with whatever the hell we're going into after this is going to be what's on the inside, and the energy or the conscious, or maybe not even the conscious. I don't know. That might go away too. Oh, and I was thinking about some other thing too, how we, different video, but after death, right now we're in the third dimension, and maybe that fourth dimension or next dimension is going to be the scattering of our life force into the universal energy or whatever. And then rather than three beings that we are now, to be in the third dimension, we would have gain the perspective of 4 or 5 or 6 to understand the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimension. And that would be, it would turn into what seems normal, but basically what would happen is you would be embodying more perspectives at the same time into one understanding, and that's how you achieve the next dimension. So that's a totally different story, though. Do a different video, I'll make one. Haven't done it yet. Anyways, be nice. Listen to 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet. If you live on the moon like I do, you'll still be able to listen to the best music on Earth or in the entire universe, or even the Everything Cube. There's fucking classical music out there waiting for time to reach it in the Everything Cube. And it was all originated way the fuck back then. So that's it. Be nice. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Don't be a dick. Bye.